Today, 20th June 2020, I will make a voice record, video record of the post ONGC interview that happened in mid-September after a sort of grand tour of New Delhi. I got back home on the first or second day of October. Of course, I was received by carrot and stick at home because there was a big blackout in communication between me and my parents. It is not my fault. In fact, I had been writing once every third day or the second day a postcard stating my whereabouts and posted those most of the time in the railway stations because the railway station was our home when we were moving the railway platform actually, except for the 3 or 4 days we had spent in the city of Dehradun in the Jain Dharmashala. And of course, the parents had their own concern, and there was only one letter that reached my home after I departed to Dehradun. Whatever happened was, I don't know. But as soon as I said I have been writing letters, and it was no matter of my intentional not writing. So they got pacified, and soon the carrot and stick became all carrots. I took shower, had a breakfast of idli and sambar, and my usual thing when I come home is to go through the newspaper, especially Indian Express, which I had the privilege of reading right from my middle school days. And I was going through the Indian Express, and suddenly I saw an ad by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, calling for applications, completely filled applications, complete in all respects, for selection of candidates for offering a Patrice, Lumumba Friendship University, Moscow. There you get a chance, if you are selected, to study for PhD. And of course, Russian language was compulsory. The first year would be devoted for learning the Russian language. I read through it, and the exciting thing was there was no mention of the candidates' education, employment, etc. Because this is probably those days the only fellowship program in which a job is not compulsorily required for the candidate who apply for the fellowship. Well, it was an exciting proposition. And immediately after lunch, I took my bicycle, went to the post office, and wrote a letter requesting for an application blank and registered it, or decided to send it by registered post. But the postal clerk in the office said, looking at the reading about the address, etc., he said it will take at least 2 more days than an ordinary letter to be received by the addressee. So then I said I will make a second request which will go by the ordinary post. Anyway, I did that very happily and came back home. And then I told my parents and our brother that I am planning to apply for a Soviet Soviet fellowship, meant only for the Patrice Lumumba Friendship University in Moscow. And they did not understand what it all meant. But anyway, that was it. The next day, I went to the geology department in the Senate House campus on my bicycle as usual. And it was a very nice morning. I went straight to the Professor Menon's office and saluted him. Said good morning. Sir also greeted me with a big smile. And then he asked me how was the interview. I said it was okay. What else I can say? I did not know how many vacancies are there, how many candidates have been interviewed. It is a national selection process. But anyway, then Professor Menon said, yes, now you are free. You carry on with whatever you are doing. The so-called pyrite work in the what is called the insoluble residue of the Koilun limestone samples. I got engaged in it, and Patnamabilla or Sami came and asked me, how was the interview, how was the Delhi, and how was the trip, how was the Radun, was it cold, so many such small things. And then he also told me that the department has purchased a set of new microscopes. And naturally, obviously, I asked them to show the microscopes wherever they were. And he opened the almirah and showed a set of Myopta microscopes. Myopta is a brand name that came from Czechoslovakia, which that country is no more there now after what is called the fall of Soviet Union. And the Myopta is a brand that India can buy on a rupee payment basis. In other words, there is an agreement between Czechoslovakia or some of the European countries and India to make the purchases either way, paying rupee funds. So anyway, Sami also told you get permission from professor so that you can use this microscope. I said, yes, I will. So then I thought I will see Rajendran sir and Raju Philip sir. They were seated those days in the same room in different opposite corners of the same room. And I went and said, well, I am back after the interview. Then Rajendran said, no, I have a class, we will talk later. So I sat in front of the guest chair, Raju Philip sir, in his guest chair, and just briefed him about what the interview was like, etc., etc. Then, around lunchtime, close to lunch rather, I went and saw Rajendran sir and said, this is what happened. At the interview, we went there, saw the Missouri area as well as the Delhi Darshan and the Bhopal Darshan and so on and so forth. And I did not tell him that I had applied for the application blanks for the Patrice Lumumba Friendship University PhD program. Well, luckily, in the 7th or 8th day of my requesting for an application, I got one set of applications. It was a lucky thing. Remember those days, 1965, the traffic, postal traffic is very slow. But anyway, at any rate, the advantage is the last date for receptive application in the Ministry of Education end is 25th or so of October. That was a good thing. So I had plenty of, not plenty, rather I have saved time to make my application reach the office in the Ministry of Education. So finally, I got to work. Even before getting the application, I just, arranged for all the certificates and copies of the certificates, etc., to be attested and then dispatched with the filled out application. And I took these certificates to Professor Menon for attestation. He asked me, why are you doing all this? I said, sir, I am planning to apply for a Soviet fellowship. What, Soviet fellowship? No, sir, it is a Soviet Union, USSR funded fellowship for Indian students who would want to do a PhD program in the Patrice Lumumba Friendship University. Oh, then he replied, I see. Because he then told that Rajendran sir also had applied for a Soviet fellowship. I said, of course, I didn't know that. And now I think Rajendran sir said in so many words to me when I met him first. So anyway, when the application blanks came, I filled it out very carefully and then attached all these documents and, then took it to the general post office at Pulimuda, or a so-called statue, or in the neighborhood a statue. There, it was sent under registered post. And I just inquired whether it will reach before 25th October. And the postal clerk said, definitely, you have 10 days. And from this office, their office and head post office, this will leave in the evening itself. And then that was very happy news. Then, of course, they came back to the department. And then our librarian, Mr. Divagaran, told me, hey, do you know that we have a new set of journal called Sedimentology that arrived here in our department. Department professor has subscribed to the Sedimentology journal. And they have separated some back volumes also. If I liked, I can take a look at it. I said, okay, I would love to do that. It was a Elsevier journal those days with a very attractive color and colored cover rather. Then, I looked at it, went through the, what is called a table of contents, and all of a sudden, my eyes got stuck in a paper, title of a paper, which talked about the pyrite in the modern sediments of Christchurch Harbour, and authored by one guy who is named as L-O-V-E, Love. And I opened the pages, and to my surprise, this guy was talking about pyrite only. And moreover, I had come across some spherical aggregates of pyrite, and with the extremely, I would say, nanocrystals. Those days, the term nano was not in circulation in science. Or crystallites, that was the name used those days. In other words, it's an aggregate of crystallites of cubic crystals of pyrite in a pure spherical shape. And Mr. Love called it framboids. I got a situation like a eureka situation. I took that journal and over to Menon sir and asked them to see these pictures first. And then he said he flipped over the pages and read through the caption of the figures which had independent individual crystals of pictures of individual crystals of pyrite as well as framboids. And then professor said, okay, he get this journal issued in his name, and before he goes that evening to home, I will have to return the journal to Menon sir. So in the meantime, I went and read through the pages. I did not understand most of the science in it, but I understood that the what is called the graphic descriptions, how it was recovered, what was the appearance under the microscope, most important point is the magnification. They were also using, Mr. Love also used a oil immersion microscope or objective to have the photos made. So I thought that we also needed an oil immersion objective and a microscope to attach it. Then what happened was, I wanted permission from Menon sir to take a look at the Miyota microscope because Miyota microscope, there were 6 microscopes which was for classwork and 1 microscope for research. So advanced microscope. Then he said, yes, ask Padmanabha Pillai to issue that microscope for work. And then wanted me to read, the so-called instructions about the use of the microscopes, because most of the time the instruction book is the last thing you read before, until you come along with a problem. Otherwise, you just go on working with it. So there was luckily a oil immersion objective. That was a plus point. That was what I gathered from the little book. Then it was a console. Then there was a question of what is the oil. Oil is was also supplied with the system. A small bottle with which said oil immersion. Oil immersion. And then, yes, all set. Only thing is now we have to arrange everything so that we can view these rhomboids as well as individual crystals of rhomboids, pyrite, under the microscopes under very high magnification. I think it was like 1,000 times. Because ordinary light microscopes will not give you a better resolution. It will give you only a magnification up when you go for 500 times, etc. But because there will be a lot of dispersion of light. In other words, whatever light emerges from the through this light will be scattered outside of the eyepiece. Outside of the objective lens, because the objective lens is so tiny. So what you do is by putting a drop of oil on the glass slide and focusing on with the oil immersion objective, what you do is actually the air column is substituted with oil. So the dispersion of the light will not be as much as if there was no oil immersion. That will enable a better resolution as well as magnification. Wow, it was beautiful. We could see the rhomboids and the arrangement of the crystallites. And it was a kind of a, big moment for me, as well as, as soon as it was achieved, I invited Professor Menon, K.V. Kishan Nair sir, Raju Philip sir, and Rajendran sir to have a look at it. That was a great day. Thank you.